Okay. Okay. Don't worry. All right. Good evening, everyone. For the new candidates, new enrollees, the fourth and fifth cohort that have not seen me before. My name is Pharmacist Doris Mbanefo, DGPharm. I'm so excited to have everyone on board. I recognize every one of you. We are supposed to be over 100 candidates in this classroom, in this Zoom meeting. So, but we all have a lot of things that we are doing, so I will not waste much of our time. We are going to start immediately. Okay, so last month we discussed and explored artificial intelligence automation. We explored that, and we had about 2 different editions. So I think as at this moment, many of us are already automating our tasks or our work. Okay, I hope so. So there will be time for questions. Okay, there will be time for that. But I'm going to go into our topic for today. I'm going to go straight into our topic, and I'm going to expose everything I know, everything I've researched on, and everything I have experienced. So today is going to be packed, it's going to be full. Try to give us the time. Okay, don't be in a hurry to leave. All right. I'm very sure you're going to enjoy your experience tonight, everyone. So if you're excited, you can put it in the chat box. You can put it in the chat box. Are you excited? Yes, I'm excited. I am excited. You can put that in the chat box. Okay. All right. Yes. Pharmacist Reborn, you're excited. I'm happy to hear that. Yes, from Flourish, you're excited. I'm happy to hear that. Yes. Pharmacist Doris, I'm also excited. In fact, while I was preparing for this masterclass, I was even marveled at the the information I was able to gather. So we are going to explore everything. Yes. Farmer Viagari, you're excited. Good. Thank you. So I'll first start by asking a simple question, but I think it has to be deep. How many pharmacists here were taught in school that after graduation, the natural progression is get your degree, complete your internship, get a job, and get paid your salary? Yes, many of us. In fact, okay, we could say get a degree, complete your internship, either you get a job or you open your own pharmacy if you're buoyant enough, and just keep going around that circle over and over again. Yes. In fact, that is what our educational system have made us to believe that is the normal or the natural progression of the pharmacist life. Okay, but now I'm going to work on our mindset and expose to us the various opportunities, the vast opportunities that pharmacists, digital pharmacists really have. Okay, so the old inherited model of study hard, graduate, get your license, find a job or open a pharmacy, work for about 30 years or 35 years and retire. Or probably if you have a child that will take after your or take over your pharmacy, if you open the pharmacy, you know, there's nothing wrong with that though, but a lot of things have changed. This is not that era anymore. And we're going to see the reason why. Okay? Healthcare has changed, technology has changed, our economy has changed, the internet has changed. Even artificial intelligence is here and it's also evolving. Okay? So we now have more opportunities that a lot of pharmacists and healthcare professionals have not explored. So today's session, we are not abandoning our pharmacy profession. No. What we are doing, well, what we are going to do is we're expanding the pharmacy practice or the pharmacy profession. We're expanding it, okay? We're discovering what our degree can get us, okay? More than just dispensing medications, right? We are going to discover how our license will be used to solve problems and earn us recurring income, even without going out, without leaving your house. It's going to be practical, it's going to be intense, so please, I need your attention, everyone. Okay, yes, we are going to have a replay, but it's good to have a live experience of this whole session today. Okay, so at the end of today's meeting, I don't want you to say, oh, I've learned a lot, but what I want you to say after the meeting today is that now I know exactly what I'm going to do tomorrow. I know exactly what I'm going to do this week, this coming week, okay? Because whatever you're going to learn today is something you can implement immediately. It's something you can implement right now, okay? So the evolution of pharmacy, we're going to discuss it. The opportunities, over 20 opportunities, and even global opportunities, we're going to discuss them. How to position yourself for these opportunities, we're going to discuss it. So I'll be sharing my screen while I go ahead with the discussion, all right? So let's go. Okay. All right. Okay, so like the title or the theme for today's or this June masterclass is monetization and global opportunities for digital pharmacists. So we are going to be moving from local practice to global impact. Okay, we're going to be building multiple income streams through digital pharmacy, artificial intelligence, and healthcare innovations. Once more, my name is Pharmacist Doris Mbanefo, DGPharm, okay, for those who just joined in. And I'm your host and facilitator for tonight, okay? So the way pharmacists earn has been rewritten. So we are moving away from just the mindset of degree, job, or salary, Okay, we are moving into a networked part where you gain your knowledge, you have knowledge, you give value, you gather your audience, okay? You build systems and you earn multiple incomes as a pharmacist. So you're not just depending on four walls. You're not just, tied to the four walls of a pharmacy or a hospital clinic or something like that. So you are not limited, okay? So the questions now that we should be asking is, oh, where can I work? I want to work online. Where can I work? No, you will not be asking that question anymore. What you will be asking is, how can I create value globally? Okay? So there are 4 eras. I want us to start from the beginning so that we can know where our mindset is. Many of us are still in some eras, in past eras. So I want to show us how the eras or the pharmacy or the professional eras have been going in the past few years. Okay, in 1900, how it started. So many of us might even find ourselves still practicing maybe even the second era or even the third era while we are in the fourth era. Okay, so we have this pharmacy era. I call it 1.0. Okay, it started within the year 1900 to 1980. Okay, so this, we call it the apothecary era. Apothecary era, where what we offered then, or what pharmacists offered then, or their value that they offered then, was just products. So this era was of traditional medicine shops. Okay, so what pharmacists were doing then was, okay, what is wrong with you? Oh, my stomach is paining me. The pharmacist will just go compound medicines manually, then dispense these medications, manage the inventories manually, okay? And probably they earned primarily from just selling products. So even your consultation then was not even considered. The fact that we were able to give out products or medication, dispense medications, that was what was happening in the first era. Okay, so then you will hear people asking, what medicine are you selling? Okay, what particular herb are you selling? What product are you selling? That was what gave value in the pharmacy profession then. So pharmacists in that era were considered as drug sellers or dispensers. So it gradually moved to the second era within the year 1980 to year 2005. So we called this era the clinical pharmacy era. And the major value was clinical expertise. This is where healthcare became more sophisticated. Pharmacists now moved beyond just selling their products to patients' care. In fact, hospital pharmacy was more predominant or more rampant then. Okay, so pharmacists began medication therapy management as a MTM, the drug information services, ward rounds with the physicians, therapeutic monitoring, direct patient counseling, and everything related to the hospital setup. Okay, so then you would hear the questions from a patient. You would say, oh, how can you help patients use medicine safely and effectively? Okay, so then pharmacists were considered as medication experts. So you have them collaborating with clinicians to help in patient care. Okay, so that was the second era. The third era, from the year 2005 to 2020, we have the pharmaceutical care era. So the value that pharmacists offered within this period was their knowledge. So healthcare became increasingly evidence-based and patient-centered. Okay, so what you say, we always mention the pharmaceutical care. Are you offering pharmaceutical care? What is pharmaceutical care? Even when you go for job interviews, the first question is, oh, what is pharmaceutical care? Because that was what was rampant within that era. So the major developments, though, within that era, we had the electronic health records, the clinical guidelines, the evidence-based medicines, chronic disease management, vaccination services, and expanded pharmaceutical care. Okay, so probably the questions then were, did the medicine actually improve the patient's health? What was the outcome? Okay, we're looking for outcomes then. Okay, so pharmacists were identified as patient advocates and knowledge professionals. But we now have the fourth era, Pharmacy 4.0, which is from that 2020 to present age now. This is the digital health era. And the value pharmacists should be offering now is knowledge, technology, visibility, and systems. Okay, so this era was accelerated by the COVID-19 that had to shut down almost the whole world. Okay, telemedicine, artificial intelligence that is constantly and rapidly evolving, remote work that is the talk of the day, creator economy, digital therapeutics, automation, health tech startups. So now pharmacists can consult visually. Pharmacists can create digital products. Pharmacists can teach globally. Pharmacists work remotely now. Okay, pharmacists also use artificial intelligence and automation. And pharmacists build communities and businesses. So you see that this era, the questions that will be asked will be, how far can your knowledge travel? I think the Rivers State Scientific Conference that is about to hold, I saw the ad where they said the keynote speaker she's not from Nigeria. And I think they mentioned something about pharmacy beyond borders. So you see, someone is coming to Nigeria, not physically, but visually, to speak to pharmacists in Rivers State. That is what we're talking about right now. Okay, so the identity for the pharmacist in this era should be digital health professional, creator, consultant, and entrepreneur. Okay, so the evolution of value from the first era, which is I sell medicines, to the second era, I provide pharmaceutical care. The third era, I possess valuable knowledge. And this particular fourth era, I create solutions that can reach and help people at scale. Okay? So the big idea is we have left the first era, second era, third era, and now we are in the fourth era. So pharmacists should be selling solutions, systems, and scalable impact. Okay, and perhaps the most important question that every pharmacist today will be asking is, are you practicing pharmacy 2.0, or are you practicing 3.0, or are you in 4.0 practice? Because we are currently in 4.0, the fourth era. So ask pharmacists who lead the next decade will not be those who memorize more drugs. Okay? But the pharmacists that will lead are those who will build systems with their knowledge. So that's the mindset I want us to, come out of. I want us to come out and come into now. Okay, the digital health era. Okay, so there's something I wanted to mention. Pharmacists are really underpaid. You all agree with me that pharmacists are underpaid. So why are pharmacists underpaid? So this conversation is deeper than salary. It's about economics. Many pharmacists are highly educated, highly skilled, highly valuable, but yet many pharmacists struggle financially. That is the truth. Okay, even though we try to just cover it up, okay, with our name, the D farm or the B farm, we use that. No, but a lot of pharmacists are struggling financially, not because they lack intelligence or competence, but because they operate inside a system that rewards their time and not their value, not value multiplication. Pharmacists have been selling their time over and over the years. Okay, so I will give us some tips why pharmacists are underpaid so that we can see the reason why we need to step out of that shell today. First, they were trained to exchange time for money, like I said. Traditional pharmacy education prepared us to become excellent clinicians, dispensers, and healthcare professionals. Okay? But it rarely taught us wealth creation, asset building, business systems, technology leverage, and global opportunities. So as a result, many pharmacists unconsciously adapt to one model. If you work more hours, you earn more money. You are going to hear my story during the course of this discussion. And you see that I also fell into the same category. I worked more hours to earn more money. Okay. So I know many of us passed through this and are still passing through it. So this creates linear income. So if you work 8 hours, you get paid for 8 hours. I think in Lagos, we already have a price tag per hour. So if you stop working, income stops. I had a case where I was ill, so I couldn't go to work for 2 days, and that 2 days was minus. I couldn't earn anything within that 2 days. In fact, nobody told me I had to get up and go to work so that I will earn. Okay, so imagine you stop working, income stops. Your earning capacity is limited by the number of hours you work in the day. So every human being only has 24 hours. So imagine the number of hours you can work. And how many hours would you have to even rest? How many hours will you have to eat? Or how many hours will you have for your family? You see the limitation? Another reason why pharmacists are underpaid. Pharmacists are paid for their presence, not impact. A pharmacist may serve hundreds of lives, prevent medication errors, and improve health outcomes. Yet, compensation often depends on being physically present. So the irony is that impact and income are not always directly proportional. So imagine two pharmacists may possess similar knowledge, but one sees 50 patients per day and gets paid once. Another creates a medication management course, okay, and it is viewed by 10,000 people and gets paid repeatedly. So you see that knowledge has value, but packaged knowledge creates leverage. Another reason why pharmacists are underpaid, most pharmacists own no assets. A lot of pharmacists don't have any assets. Employees can earn active income. Owners of their pharmacy businesses earn leveraged income. So many pharmacists own no digital products, no online courses, no ebooks, no intellectual property, no automated systems, no platforms, no communities. So without assets, income remains dependent on labor, and labor has limits. Yes, labor has limits. So the wealthy are not necessarily those who work the hardest. That's the truth. A lot of all these wealthy people you know, they are not the ones that work the hardest, but they are often the ones who own assets that continue producing value long after the work is done. So let's bear that in mind as well. Another reason why pharmacists are underpaid, geographic restriction income or their geographic restrictions. Many pharmacists are trapped in local communities. Many pharmacists are trapped in local economies. A brilliant pharmacist earns based on local salary structures and may never receive compensation that reflects his or her true value. That is the truth. Even in Nigeria, there are some places pharmacists will work, they will earn more, and there are some places they'll tell you, that's how it is in this whole state, and that's how the payment is, so you just have to manage. Okay? So, meanwhile, digital professionals operate globally. They are paid based on expertise, results, skills, value delivered. Okay? So it's not merely by location. The internet removed the geographical boundaries, but many healthcare professionals are still practicing as though those boundaries still exist. Now, another reason why pharmacists still are underpaid, there's a lot of technology is rewarding scalability. Okay, so the world no longer rewards effort alone, it rewards scale. Okay, so one consultation helps one patient, one article helps thousands of patients, one YouTube video teaches millions of patients, one ebook can be downloaded forever, almost every day. One AI automation can save thousands of hours of work. One online course can educate pharmacists, like the digital pharmacist certification, can educate you across continents. We have pharmacists that are not even in Nigeria, but are also partaking in this educational system. Okay, so technology allows one person's knowledge to outlive their physical presence. I hope we are gaining value from what we're discussing. I hope we're seeing the real picture. Okay. So many pharmacists underestimate their intellectual capital. This is another reason, their intellectual capital. This is another reason why pharmacists are really underpaid. Pharmacists possess years of education and practical experience. Yet, many treat the knowledge as something to give away only in exchange for hours. Many also consider, oh, let me just give out my license and get paid once. Okay? But if you look at some other professionals like the lawyers, they package knowledge. When you go to meet a lawyer, does he sell a product to you? No. He sells his knowledge to you. Consultants, they package knowledge. Coaches, like myself, I package knowledge. Authors, they package knowledge. Software engineers package knowledge. Digital creators package knowledge. Now, healthcare professionals like us, pharmacists, we can do the same. Okay? Knowledge becomes an asset when it is documented, when it is systemized and distributed. Okay? So, the deeper problem here is, or the issue, is not that pharmacists are underpaid because they lack value. The issue is that many are participating in an economic model that, their income is tied exclusively to their physical presence. And physical presence does not scale. It cannot scale. It cannot scale you. Okay? You can always work harder, but you cannot create more hours. We just have 24 hours and we need time for rest. We need time to mingle with our families, our loved ones. We need time for other things as well. Okay? So the future belongs to pharmacists who build assets. The future pharmacist will not depend on one salary, and that is why we are here today. Okay? The future pharmacist will definitely combine clinical practice, telepharmacy, consulting, digital health, AI tools, online education, create content, automation, and intellectual property, as well as global opportunities. Okay? So, we need to know that wealth is not created by merely working hard. It is created when your knowledge continues to work even when you are not working. The goal is not to stop practicing pharmacy. No, that's not the goal. But the goal is to stop selling only time and begin building assets that multiply your impact, your income, and your influence. Okay? So, no matter how brilliant you are, time is finite. Okay? Time is finite and you need assets that can work forever. Okay? So now the question is not what medicine are you selling? The question is how far can your knowledge travel? Okay? We talked about time for money. Time has a ceiling, it has limits, but assets do not. Okay? So build assets that work while you sleep. Videos, ebooks, courses, build communities, systems, okay? Build systems that sell, deliver, and scale on autopilot, right? So let's discuss a little. Now, according to WHO, 11 million healthcare workers will be short by 2030. So this shortage isn't a crisis to mourn. It doesn't mean that schools will not be graduating pharmacists, doctors, and other healthcare workers. No. But we're going to have some limitations based on this technology integration into our world, AI integration into our world. So this is a gap that the digital pharmacist can serve. You serve across borders, you scale, and you expand today. Okay? So you see where the gap opens doors, it opens doors in so many ways. Telehealth, like I mentioned before, medication management, patient education, public health, digital health startups, and clinical support. Okay? So stop hunting for jobs. Let's start building ecosystems. In fact, there are so many areas that, or so many systems or economical systems that have not been explored by pharmacists. Okay? So we need to, instead of saying, I need a job, we need to say, I need an ecosystem. So you decide what your offers are, your audience decides, okay, your reach. So if your audience are not in Nigeria, you have to note them and know how far you can go using your digital opportunities. Okay, your system now decides your scale. Your system, the way you automate your system, decides how far you can go, how your scaling will be. Okay, so let's look at the digital pharmacist ecosystem. Okay, let's come down to ourselves. The digital pharmacist ecosystem. Most pharmacists think that the answer to financial growth is I need a job, I need another job, or I need, another pay. No. Okay, another job simply means another schedule, another boss, another ceiling, another, limitation. So the better question that you should be asking, I should be asking now is, how do I build an ecosystem? Because wealth is rarely built from isolated activities. Wealth is rarely built from isolated activities. Okay, it is built from systems. So think of a tree. A tree, that's a plant, a tree. Nobody waters only the fruits. The fruits come because there are roots, there's a trunk, there are branches, and there are leaves working together. So in the same way, sustainable income is not one product or one side hustle. It is an ecosystem. So let's start with personal brand. We want to look at the 7-layer stack where the whole thing comes together. Personal brand. Here, we need to know who knows you and what do they know you for. So, who knows me? I'm Pharmacist Doris. What do they know me for? They know me for being a digital pharmacy advocate. Okay? They know me for Digital Pharmacists Academy. They know me for digital skills for healthcare professionals. So you ask yourself, what or who knows you and what do they know you for? Many pharmacists have knowledge, okay, but few pharmacists are visible. Visibility creates opportunities. So if no one knows you, if nobody knows you exist, nobody can hire you, nobody can trust you, and nobody can buy from you. So let's look at another scenario, an illustration. 2 pharmacists graduated with the same degree. Pharmacist A has excellent knowledge, but no online presence, no content, no visibility. Only opportunities that come are those he actively applies for. But Pharmacist B shares medication tips weekly, posts more digital health contents, creates videos, writes articles. Over time, people begin to say, that pharmacist that talks about telepharmacy, that pharmacist that talks about digital pharmacy, okay? That pharmacist, oh, she's an AI pharmacist, okay? So the person becomes associated to something, okay? That is personal brand. Real life example, when people hear fitness, they remember a certain fitness expert or a certain fitness influencer online. When people hear finance, they remember certain finance creators. Okay, so in pharmacy, your name should stand for something, not because you are famous, but because you are visible. So without visibility, opportunities remain invisible. I hope we are moving. I hope we're together. I hope we're with me. If you're not hearing me or if you're not flowing, you can just drop in the WhatsApp platform. You can drop in the WhatsApp platform that you are not hearing me. But if you are, you can still put your thumbs up. Okay. So the next is audience. Okay. People come in before the products. Many people want to sell immediately. You know, when you come online, the first thing you're doing is you're already selling well woman, we have well woman, we have this, you're already selling that. No, you're already selling a product or the other. Okay, but who are they selling to? Have they considered their audience? Have they considered if their audience now know them, now trust them, and can now communicate or flow with them? Okay, have they considered that? An audience is simply the people who trust you. Okay, followers online, all this, you come to your Facebook page, you see followers. Followers are just numbers. Audience are the relationship you have with your followers. So audience is that relationship. So for example, imagine opening a pharmacy shop in the middle of a desert. Okay, you have your beautiful shelves, your modern design, excellent products, but no customers are coming in. The problem isn't the products, the problem is traffic. Okay, so similarly, creating an ebook without an audience is like opening a supermarket in the forest. Nobody knows it exists. That is why you need audience first. Before you sell anything, products or services, you need audience first. So example, supposing 2,000 pharmacists follow your page because they enjoy telepharmacy content. So when you recommend a webinar like what we're doing now, a course or a service, some will naturally listen because they trust, the trust is already there. Okay, so people buy from people they trust. Okay, another aspect of the pharmacist ecosystem is services. Services generate cash. This is where expertise solves problems. So for example, you offer service of CV optimization, curriculum vitae optimization, LinkedIn profile setup, you help people to do that. Telepharmacy consultation, you help people to, you consult, you have online consultations. Drug information services, you know, people can reach out to you or your website for drug information or drug identification. AI implementation, okay, so for what I do as well with my company, with my team, we also help companies and pharmaceutical businesses implement AI into, or AI automation into their business. Okay, then we have the medication therapy management as a service, SOP writing, regulatory consulting, and many more. These are all services that pharmacists, digital pharmacists, offer online. So think of services as the engine that produces immediate income. Okay, so a pharmacist helps 5 clients optimize their CV, or a pharmacist helps clients automate their activities or their business practices. Okay, the pharmacist charges any amount, maybe charges 50,000, 30,000, 150,000. It depends. The income will also be multiplied by the number of clients they have or they got. Okay, so, but there's still a problem here. There's still a problem with this particular service rendering. It also takes your time. Okay, so the pharmacist can only handle limited number of clients because of their time. Okay, but services are also active income. So it depends on the service you offer. You can be in the comfort of your home and offer this service with your AC blowing into your brain as you do the work. Okay, so another one is digital products. Products now are the ones that in fact, this aspect is what I enjoy. Okay, products create leverage. So instead of repeating the same teaching 100 times, you package it once and sell forever. Ebooks, templates, courses, checklists, SOP packs, AI prompts, masterclasses, just name it. You package them once and you sell many times. So imagine explaining LinkedIn optimization to 50 pharmacists individually. It's very exhausting, right? Imagine teaching digital pharmacy to 100 pharmacists, one after the other. So now imagine recording it once. The video teaches people while you sleep. Okay, so you're sleeping and people are still learning. So that single course can help 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 1 million people. It depends on how far it goes. So the same knowledge is offered, but the scale is that it goes viral, is different. The scale is different from any other experience you have. So a teacher teaching one classroom that can reach 50 students, but that same teacher creates a YouTube video that reaches over 500 students. So you see that technology is actually multiplying your knowledge without you doing extra work. Your products multiply your expertise without you doing extra work. Then we have community. So communities create loyalty. Okay, people don't just want information, they want belonging. Okay, humans thrive in tribes. Okay, so people don't remain in churches only because of the sermons. People remain in churches because of relationships. Likewise, pharmacists remain in communities like the Earlybird Digital Pharmacist Alumni Hub. Pharmacists remain in these communities because they find accountability, support, networking, opportunities, mentorship, and follow-ups. Okay, so there are so many communities you can build: Telegram community, WhatsApp communities, paid masterminds, and many more. Okay, so communities change everything. One person may buy once, but community members stay for years. Okay, now let's Look at the second to the last one, which is automation, AI automation and workflows. Automation gives you freedom. We discussed this last month. And if you have started automating most of your tasks, you will see that you gained a lot of free time to yourself. Okay, so without automation, you become the bottleneck. Okay, so imagine 10 patients ask you the same question. What is anti-malaria, or what is the paracetamol used for? And you keep answering, paracetamol is used for this and this and that. You're answering one person at a time. Okay? Must you answer the same question 10 times or 500 times, depending on the number of people that come? No. What you do is create Google Forms, automated emails, learning platforms, WhatsApp chatbots, AI assistants, and payment systems. Okay? So now the information flows without your consistent presence. The same information keeps flowing even while you are asleep. That is what automation does for you. Let's look at a real life analogy when we come to automation. So imagine fetching water with a bucket every day. It's exhausting, right? But automation is like installing a pipe system. So water flows continuously without repeated efforts. So automation converts your hard work into smart work. I hope we're gaining value. So finally, in the ecosystem for the digital pharmacist is business. I have not seen any wealthy person who doesn't own a business, whether they bought it or they built it from scratch. A wealthy person owns a business. Business is where everything comes together. Business is not merely selling. Business is an ecosystem. So think of an airport, thousands of moving parts. You have the pilots, you have the fuel, we have the security, ticketing, passengers, yet everything works together. Okay, so similarly, your personal brand attracts attention, audience develops trust, services brings immediate cash, products create leverage, community creates loyalty, automation creates freedom, and business creates sustainability. Okay? So another imagination or another illustration here, imagine owning a mango tree. Okay? Many pharmacists climb the tree every day to pluck one mango. That is a job. But imagine planting many trees, building irrigation systems, hiring workers, packaging mango juice, selling the seedlings, and creating a community of farmers. Okay, so now you no longer depend on one fruit or one tree. You now have an ecosystem. Okay, so let's see. Some pharmacies remain stuck, and there's a reason why. Before I talk about this digital pharmacist pyramid, let's jump into, let's just briefly discuss why some pharmacists or many pharmacists stay stuck. Okay, because many of them or many of us jump straight to how do I make money without first building the visibility we talked about, the trust, the relationship, the systems, the assets. So money is usually the fruit, but the ecosystem is the tree. You need to plant the tree. You first plant it from being the seed, it now grows to a tree before it yields you the fruit. Okay? I hope that also flows very well with us now. We are getting the picture. We're getting the picture, right? Okay. Like I said, if you are not understanding or hearing or following, if you have any concerns, you can drop it in the WhatsApp group and it will be attended to. Okay. So the new pharmacy economy, the future pharmacist is not merely an employee. Okay. The future pharmacists are platforms, or our future pharmacists, you and I, we are a platform, a brand, a teacher, a consultant, a creator, a community builder, a systems thinker. Okay, so remember that true wealth is not built by adding more jobs. I said that earlier when we started. Okay, it is built by creating ecosystem where every part strengthens the other, and eventually your knowledge begins to work for you even when you are resting. Okay, so we are going to be looking at the digital pharmacist pyramid. I had to draw a little pyramid to just give us an insight of the different levels. Okay, this particular slide is very important. Okay, so the fundamental question that this particular slide will be answering is, how do I move from being a pharmacist who only earns a salary to becoming a pharmacist with multiple streams of income and global opportunities? This is where we're answering the question, how? Okay, so most pharmacists remain at the bottom because nobody ever showed them the ladder. So I'm going to show you all the ladder. That is why we're having our master classes, so that you keep learning new things. Okay, so what is at the bottom of the ladder? Visibility, where we said if no one knows you exist, nothing else matters. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, many pharmacists are trying to jump to level 5 without building level 1 to 4. But every successful digital pharmacist climbs this pyramid one after the other. You cannot build a business without first becoming visible. You cannot sell digital products if nobody trusts you. You cannot attract global opportunities if people cannot find you. Okay, so the journey starts from this bottom, which is visibility, level 1. So, like I said, if no one knows you exist, nobody can help you, nobody can hire you, and nobody can pay you. Visibility is where everything begins. Many pharmacists are highly knowledgeable, but this knowledge is invisible. So, an invisible value rarely gets rewarded. So think about it. If I need a diabetes educator today, how will I find one? Will I start calling Pharmacist Abatan, or should I call Pharmacist Freeborn? Please, I'm looking for a diabetes educator. Would that be the first thing I would do? No. Or if I need a medical writer, will I start calling one of you? How do I know where to get a medical writer? Okay, how will I know who is available? Right? So if a healthcare startup is looking for a consultant, how would they know you exist? Visibility means becoming discoverable. Okay, so the assets at level 1 are your LinkedIn profile. Okay, your LinkedIn profile, your Facebook page, your professional picture, your website, your portfolio, your YouTube channel, even your email address. These are your assets that can make you visible. Okay? So imagine opening a pharmacy in the middle of nowhere or in a local community. Okay? Like I used the illustration I used before. You have great service, you have good drugs, but no road leading to your pharmacy. Will customers come? How will they come to your pharmacy? Oh, you show them online. Oh, that this pharmacy is, how do they come to you? Probably not. They won't come. Okay? So many pharmacists have built careers like that. You have excellent skills, but no visibility. So the goal of level 1 is to become discoverable. The goal of level 1 is to become discoverable. People should know who you are, what you do, who you serve. Okay, so level 2. Level 2 is services. This is where you convert your knowledge into solutions. Okay, so knowledge alone does not create the income. You have it in your head, doesn't create that income. Okay, problems are the ones that create the income. So people don't pay for the information, people pay for solutions to their problems. Okay, so at this level, you begin packaging your expertise to solve problems. Okay, so for example, telepharmacy, you package telepharmacy to solve a problem for those that cannot travel the distance. You package medication therapy management, diabetes coaching, weight management, hypertension support, drug information services, patient education, medical writing, and so much more. We're going to still explore all these options, okay? Now, knowledge is like water. If water remains in a river, it is difficult to transport. But when bottled, it becomes valuable. Services are simply your knowledge that you package into solutions. So instead of saying, I know diabetes, you will now be saying, I help diabetic patients achieve better blood sugar control. I hope we are understanding it now. So the next is assets. Assets, okay? This is where you build once and you earn repeatedly. This is where leverage begins. Most pharmacists are trapped here, actually. They don't know what to do, how to start, what to do. Okay, no problem. That is why we're going to be talking about it. Okay? So pharmacists work, get paid, then when they stop working, income stops. But we are going to change that narrative now. Assets will definitely break that cycle. Assets are living or are things you can create once that continue creating value for you even when you're not, using them. I hope we are following. Okay. Now, assets, for example, your ebooks, templates, I've mentioned that before, your YouTube videos, TikTok videos, all these things, your toolkits, checklists, AI prompts, they are all assets. Okay, so suppose you teach managing hypertension. Okay, without assets, you teach one patient at a time. But with assets like your video, your course, your ebook, you teach thousands of people at the same time with the same effort. So asset, multiply your knowledge. Then let's look at the global opportunities. That's the next. Okay, so this is where you leverage geography. This is where many pharmacists experience a mindset shift. Okay, so your license may be local, but your skills will go global. So think about it this way. A pharmacist in Nigeria, okay, you can write for a company in the UK, medical writing. Okay, you manage social media for a doctor in Canada. You work as a visual telepharmacist for a clinic in the US. Your pharmacovigilance knowledge, you use it for pharmaceutical industries in Europe. Okay, you consult for startups in Africa. You teach globally on YouTube. You freelance on Upwork. Okay, so you see that geography is no longer a limitation. Okay, so you have remote jobs, you freelance, you do medical writing, pharmacovigilance, visual assistance, telepharmacy, international collaboration, and so on. So your competition is no longer just with pharmacists in your community, but your opportunities are also no longer limited to just your community or your cities. Okay, so you see that you can, with this option, you create dollar income streams. Okay, so the final part of this pyramid is business ownership. This is where you own the system. The system pays you. This is the top of the pyramid. Most people own jobs. Okay, I have a job. Yes, I have a job. But few people own systems. At this stage, you're no longer selling your time or only your time. You are building something bigger than yourself. So, for example, you build a healthcare consulting agency, you build a telepharmacy platform, you build a training academy, you build a digital health startup, a medical writing agency, AI automation business, healthcare media company, membership communities, software platforms, and educational ecosystem. Okay, so without systems, you are just a business. All right, so when you stop, everything stops. But with systems, content attracts people, websites will capture the leads, your Calendly that you've learned. Everyone, sorry for the break in transmission. I hope we're still together. Yes, it's actually network issues. So please bear with me. Okay, sorry. So let me continue sharing my screen. Let me continue sharing my screen. Sorry for the break in transmission. Okay. We are here. Okay. Now, we talked about business ownership, where we said when you put all these together, you gain ownership, you gain automation, you gain everything, visibility and all. Okay? I think we've explored this very well. Now, let's go to the part we've been waiting for. 20 ways a pharmacist already earns online. Okay, so this part, I'm going to talk about it step by step, okay, so that you can discover the area you feel you have strength in. If you have more strength in an area, you pay key attention to it. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about it step by step. Okay, right, so you don't need to pick all 20, you just need to pick one and make it work. Okay, you just need to pick one and make it work. Okay, but the biggest mistake most pharmacists make is, you know, when they've jumped out of they leave level 1, they want to enter level 5. So we are going to take it one step at a time before you can now know how to settle or how to navigate each of them, right? So this is a practical roadmap for different pharmacy sectors. Many pharmacists will be asking which opportunity is best. Don't worry. I would also suggest, okay? I also suggest based on the niche you are already in, I tell you, okay, which opportunity would best fit your current skills, your experience, your personality, your practical area. So not everyone should build apps. Not everyone should become YouTubers. Not everyone should become writers. So the beauty of digital economy is that there are many doors. Okay? There are many opportunities. You just need to find your place. So let's start with telepharmacy. Yes, if you've been going through your training or you're yet to go into the training, please do. Okay? You, like I always say, once you register for the digital pharmacy certification training, I recommend that you start the training before you experience the masterclass. The training is like the ABCD of the whole program that we are exploring. So when you come to the masterclass, it's easier for you to understand. So briefly, telepharmacy is just providing pharmaceutical care remotely without requiring physical presence. So think of it as taking your consulting room from the physical pharmacy setup to an online setup. So those that can dive into telepharmacy will be, it goes best for community pharmacists, hospital pharmacists, ambulatory care pharmacists, diabetic educators or diabetes educators, retired pharmacists, pharmacists seeking flexibility or seeking flexible schedules, right? Okay, so the niches you can start with when it comes to telepharmacy, you can start with diabetes, depending on your main expertise. You can help patients understand medicines, improve adherence, monitor their blood sugar, okay? hypertension. You can help patients achieve blood pressure control, reduce complications, asthma. Okay, you can improve or provide inhaler counseling and adherence support. You also can offer polypharmacy guidance. So you assist the elderly patients taking multiple medications. Okay, these are possible areas you can go into inside the telepharmacy telepharmacy business model. Okay, so how do you start for telepharmacy? You can start today, like I said. So week 1, just choose one disease state. Okay, week 2, create simple packages. Like the basic package, you can say 30 minutes consultation, medication review, follow-up after 1 week. Okay, depending on the package, just create simple packages. Okay, then you now using tools like Zoom, WhatsApp, Google Meet, Calendly, Google Form. You know about these tools in your training. Okay, you can now build revenue. You can now charge per consultation. You can charge monthly subscriptions. Okay, and you can also build corporate wellness contracts. Right. So let's go to medication therapy management, MTM services. So this is one of the easiest transitions for pharmacists because we are already doing it daily. So this is best for hospital pharmacists, clinical pharmacists, community pharmacists, geriatric pharmacists. Okay, so for example, Mrs. Johnson takes metformin, amlodipine, aspirin, omeprazole, atorvastatin. Okay, your job is to review interactions, duplications, adherence, side effects, then create medication action plans and sell it to the patient. So how do you start? So create a plan or different plans. You can say bronze plan or quarterly review or silver plan, monthly review. Okay, gold plan, where you say, okay, monthly review and follow-up calls. Now your patient now sees you as a personal pharmacist that is taking charge of their therapy management. Okay, so the revenue sources here is you gain from the elderly care programs, HMOs, corporate wellness, okay, and even hospital contracts. Yeah. Then for healthcare coaching or health coaching, okay, so medicine treats diseases, lifestyle prevents diseases. So you can coach patients, individuals on lifestyle management. Okay, so this particular opportunity is best for community pharmacists, public health pharmacists, wellness enthusiasts, okay, and even weight management pharmacists. Okay, so you can dive into niches like weight loss, diabetes reversal support, hypertension control, lifestyle medicines. Okay, all right, so you can start immediately. You can offer 12-week programs, weekly accountability, master classes, meal plans, exercise guidance, educational sessions, right? So you gain revenue by having one-on-one coaching sessions. You gain revenue from group programs. You gain revenue from even membership communities. Okay, so the next one is patient education. Patient education programs. So people pay for understanding. So I know that you are all here because you want to know, you want to understand. Okay, so you see that fear decreases when people understand their disease condition. So for patient education, you are giving them insights to everything related to them, anything related to them. So they pay to know, they pay to know, okay? So the best is every pharmacist can engage in patient education programs. Every pharmacist, every digital pharmacist. It doesn't matter what niche you are, okay? We need to come out and start educating patients. One of our digital pharmacists was, his team were complaining about patients that, will tell you, oh no, that there's no need going about their health issues this way, that it's a spiritual thing. So instead of them to take medications, they will want to, consider it a spiritual matter. So this is where patient education comes in. Okay, so you can create monthly Zoom classes or live wellness educational programs. Okay, or even you can choose topics and talk about them. Even medication timing, just name it. Okay, so this is where you educate patients, generate revenue from patients' attendance, sponsored classes, and even community subscriptions. So another beautiful one is digital courses or online courses. So this converts expertise into assets. So you record a training or a course and you sell repeatedly. So this is best for those that can educators, okay? Clinical pharmacists, academic pharmacists. Yeah, create courses and just create them once and you sell forever. Okay. The next one is ebook creations. Okay, many of us have already started that and I'm impressed. I'm seeing our work. So the simplest digital product is ebook. Ebooks, templates, name it. Okay, so anyone and everyone can create these things and sell them. Okay, so for community pharmacists, you can decide to create an ebook. You say 50 foods for diabetic patients. Okay, or hospital pharmacists can say drug interaction handbook, and you sell it. People will buy it. Okay, so for parents, you say medication safety for children. Okay, so you use tools like Canva, ChatGPT to create this ebook. All right, so you can sell through your different e-commerce platforms, Seller and co. You can even create your website and sell it in your website. So the next one is content creation. Your content becomes your marketing department. Okay, so it's best for people who enjoy teaching. If you enjoy teaching, create content that educates people. So from your content, you get paid. From your audience, you get paid. From collaboration, you get paid. From monetization, revenue, YouTube revenue, you get paid. Okay, sometimes you can be called upon because of how consistent you are with your content creation. So you have speaking engagements, consulting, affiliate marketing, okay, brand partnerships. All right, so that is where content creation helps you to make money. So it's not, content creation is not for outside, for others. It's also for us as pharmacists. Another beautiful one is medical writing. Okay, so pharmaceutical companies need writers. They need, healthcare startups, they need blog writers, email writers, email marketers that help to write their emails. Okay, they need content writers. Okay, so this is best for academic pharmacists, research pharmacists, and even introverts that don't want to even show their face. Okay, so pharmacists with strong English skills can utilize this medical writing. Okay, so you need to learn the skills you're going to learn for this medical writing is SEO writing, medical blogging, scientific writing. Okay, so what do? Build your portfolio. Okay, you can write simple articles, upload them on your LinkedIn or Facebook. Okay, just keep uploading them. Then you can go to some of these medical companies, okay, or healthcare companies that you see them online. You see them on LinkedIn and some other platforms like Upwork. Okay, then you can apply globally. Most times when you apply, telling them that you're a medical writer, they might not message you immediately. Do you know what they do? They go to your profile. They go to the contents you've been writing. When they have seen those are your assets, those are your proof of work. So when they see what you have been doing, they now engage you. That is how the system works in job opportunities up online. Okay, so you can't say you're a medical writer and you've not written any content, you've not put anything out there. Nobody will respond to you. Okay, so your income sources will be freelancing, agencies, startups, and pharma companies. All right, so let's look at pharmacovigilance. So drug safety is a global industry. All right, so if you're good with pharmacovigilance, this opportunity is best for you. Are you a hospital pharmacist, industrial pharmacist, clinical pharmacist? All you need to do is learn case processing, learn ADR reporting, learn MedDRA, also learn how to, write the ICSR. Okay, so what happens here is you just start, you can take some courses. Okay, thank God PCN has some pharmacovigilance courses or materials that you can learn from. Okay, you can volunteer first of all. Okay, then you can build case studies. So the opportunities are endless as well for this. Pharma companies would engage. Remote roles will also engage. Global contracts will as well engage. So another opportunity is the clinical research. This is best for academic pharmacists, industrial pharmacists, researchers. So what skills do you need here? Protocol development, literature review, data analysis, and scientific writing. Okay, so you can start by joining researchers, you volunteer on projects, then you assist with publications. From there, you can build your revenue by having research grants, remote positions, universities will engage you, okay? Pharmaceutical companies as well can engage your service. We have the medical VA, that's a visual assistant, medical visual assistant. So in this area, doctors need help, okay? Clinics need support. So you can be in Nigeria and you are a medical visual assistant for a hospital professional or a doctor, doctors or any other clinic outside Nigeria. Okay, so it's best for new graduates, new pharmacists, young pharmacists, stay-at-home pharmacists, okay, people seeking remote jobs. So your duty as a medical visual assistant is appointment scheduling, documentation, patient follow-up, and customer support. So what tools do you need here? You need your Google Workspace, you need Calendly, you need Zoom, and you need electronic records. Okay? So international opportunities will definitely exist for this medical VA. Right. Okay, so we have the social media management. So healthcare professionals that struggle with visibility, you can stand in as their social media manager. We have some social media managers amongst us here. Okay, so what do they do? Or it's best for creative pharmacists. Okay, so what they do is or how they go is they learn Canva, learn Meta Business Suite, they learn scheduling tools, content calendars, and so on. Okay, so your clients are endless: doctors, hospital, pharmaceutical companies, clinics, and so on. So social media management is not just for people outside, it's also for pharmacists. We have the healthcare copywriting. Okay, so we know that words sell. So instead of me to say, buy my ice cream, as a copywriter, I would say that the weather is hot. You need something to make your throat feel cool, or to make the weather, conducive or bearable. Why don't you explore this yummy, chilled ice cream? I'm just giving an example. So that is what copywriting is: being creative and using words to sell products or service. So healthcare copywriting is best for writers. Okay, so you can also write email ads, landing pages, sales pages, funnels, and so on. Your clients are endless as well. Coaches will need your service. Okay, clinics will need your service. Healthcare brands will also need your service. So AI consulting. Okay, so this is still in its infancy. So the opportunity is really enormous here. Okay, so it's best for tech curious pharmacists. All right, so where you use artificial intelligence to handle your clients, to handle consultation sessions with your clients. So you learn how to prompt AI. We've also discussed all that as well in our previous master classes and also in the program. So you learn AI, you learn consulting. Okay, so it's also a fast-growing niche that anybody can dive into. Okay, all pharmacists can dive into it. You just need to learn how to use ChatGPT, automation, prompt engineering, and workflow optimization. Okay, so your clients are hospitals, pharmacies, universities, healthcare professionals, and more. Now, the next is communities. Okay, so people stay where they belong. I've mentioned that before. People stay where they feel welcome. So when you build communities, these communities helps you generate revenue in the long run. So this is best for leaders, it is best for educators, innovators, right? You have a vision for the future and you need communities. Start by building communities. So for example, you build a WhatsApp community, Telegram groups, membership hubs. Just choose a niche and know your audience that will fit into that niche. Then you build your community from there. So you earn from paid membership. Okay, you earn from monthly subscriptions, events, courses, sponsorships, right? So another aspect is public speaking. Some people are good with public speaking, so you can earn from public speaking. Okay, so knowledge becomes influence. So this is best for confident communicators, right? So the opportunities are endless as well. Corporate wellness, conferences like the ACPN conference that is coming. Yeah, you can also pick up a topic and discuss during all those conferences. And you also get commissions for doing so. Schools, workshops, and so on. Okay, so the income here is speaking fees, consulting, books. You can create books and also sell after your speech, okay, or courses as well. Then for consulting, this is where your experience becomes valuable. So people come to you for your experience, okay? So pharmacy companies need consultation sessions in managing their workflow, in automating their business or their activities, or in strategizing different aspects of their business. So senior pharmacists and experienced pharmacists can engage in consultation services. Okay, so your clients are endless as well. Hospitals, healthcare setups, pharmaceutical companies, community pharmacies, and many more. So problems you can solve with consulting is or are inventory management, workflow optimization, SOPs, and even quality improvement. We also have the grants writing. So money flows through some proposals, okay? So when you make proposals, good proposals, you find out that you can get good grants from that. So you see that NGOs and public health, bodies need people that can help them to write proposals, good proposals for grants. Okay, so it's best for academic pharmacists, public health pharmacists, researchers. Okay, so all you need to do is just learn how to write proposals, learn how to prepare budgets, okay, learn monitoring and evaluation, and you're good to go. So your clients, NGOs, universities, research organizations, they will use your service. We also have the affiliate marketing. So this is where you recommend products you trust and you earn commissions for doing so. Thank God the Earlybird AlphaForge and the Digital Pharmacist Academy, we have this program for our alumni members and they are grateful for it. Okay, so affiliate marketing is good for content creators and people who are confident enough to talk to others about a particular product confidently. Okay, so you promote books, courses, softwares, anything, any products, just promote it and you get commission for doing so. So your income will definitely grow with audience size. So if you are an affiliate and you say, oh, I just have only 5 friends, meaning that your income will not grow. So you need to create more audience so that you can reach out to more people and earn more commissions from there. So the final one is the digital health entrepreneurship. Okay, so this is what we call ownership. Okay, it's not just income. This is where you build systems. This is best for visionaries. Okay, so you build telepharmacy platforms, you build medication reminder apps, you build AI assistants, patient support communities, digital pharmacies, healthcare SaaS products, and so much more. Okay, so this is the main area that gives you authority, that gives you a better leverage. Building something, okay? Building something. Now, for global opportunities for digital pharmacists, okay? One of the biggest mindset shifts in the digital economy is understanding why opportunities are no longer restricted to your geography or to your local community. So you can practice in any country, okay? So how can you transfer your license will not be the question, but the question now will be, what problems can you solve? So I'm going to be explaining to us a few skills that are globally valuable. Let's pay attention, please. So we have the clinical knowledge. It's a skill that is globally valuable. Medication reviews, patient education, drug information, research support, healthcare communication, writing skills, medical writing, healthcare blogs, educational content, copywriting, grant writing, research summaries. Okay? Then we also have communication skills like the visual assistance, customer support, community management, project coordination, patient follow-up. Another skill is the digital skills, which covers the content creation, social media management, Canva design, video editing, AI automation, prompt engineering, website creation. We also have the business skills, which covers consulting, coaching, teaching, training, public speaking, course creation, and even community building. Okay, so opportunities that do not necessarily require your license are medical writing, healthcare content creation, medical visual assistance, pharmacovigilance associate, clinical research assistant, AI consultant, healthcare copywriter, social media management, patient education, public health consultancy, and even grant writing. Community manager is there. Healthcare coach is there. Digital product creation is there. Course creation and telehealth support. These ones don't need your license for you to start earning. Okay? So where do you find global opportunities? You find them on LinkedIn. Okay? Actually, it's the most powerful platform, most professional platform. Okay? So how do you search on LinkedIn for opportunities? You search terms like remote healthcare jobs, medical writer, clinical research assistant, drug safety associate, healthcare content writer, medical visual assistant, pharmacovigilance jobs, customer success healthcare, digital health specialist, remote pharmacist, connect with recruiters. Okay, these are terms you use to search. Optimize your profile, okay, by using these terms. When you optimize your profile by using these terms, these companies that need these services will find their way into your DMs, okay? And even when you search, it's easier for them to verify through your profile, okay? Then you share content consistently. So LinkedIn helps you create your visibility, and this visibility creates the opportunities that we're looking for. Another place you can find global jobs or global opportunities is in Upwork. Okay, so this is perfect for freelancers. Another place is Fiverr. This is where you package your expertise. It's also good for freelancers. Then there's Indeed.com. Indeed.com, this is where you can search, structure your search using specific terms: remote healthcare jobs, medical writer, clinical support specialist, pharmacovigilance, and so on. We also have Glassdoor. This one is great for international companies, and it also shows you insight on their salary base. It helps you to even review companies, employers across borders. Okay, review the ones that pay and the ones that don't pay. This glass door, eh? Okay, so we have the well found. This one is excellent for startups. Well found is a platform too for those that are starting up their own enterprise or business. Okay, so if you search for digital health startups, so these are new companies. When you search for these companies, you can now easily send in your proposal. This is what I can offer your company. Okay, you can search for health tech companies, AI startups, healthcare companies. So once you search for them, you can easily see the one you find interest in, one that you see possibilities in, then you can offer your proposal. We have another platform is Flex Jobs. Okay, Flex Jobs is another website where you can find remote opportunities. We have the TopTal. This is also good for freelancers, for experienced professionals. So especially for consulting, project management, AI automation, business strategy. We have Contra. This is for independent pharmacists. Okay, independent professionals. So it's excellent for creators, consultants. You can find jobs here at no commission fee. Then you have the remote.co. Remote.co helps with remote healthcare jobs. Okay, you can find remote healthcare jobs in these places. Okay, so how to position yourself for these opportunities? Okay, so instead of, when you come to your profile, instead of saying I'm a pharmacist with 10 years experience, you will say something like, instead of pharmacist, you say clinical research assistant. Because note that global employers, they think differently. They think differently than we do here in Africa. So if you use the likes of clinical research assistant, see it and they know if they need this particular service. Okay, my rain has started here and it's definitely affecting. I'm almost done, okay? Okay, are we still together? Are we still together? Rain
Yes,
is
Pharm
falling here,
Yes,
everything.
yes.
Yes, we are.
We are
Okay,
with you.
all right. Thank you.
We are with
Okay,
you.
okay. So let me continue by sharing my screen. Okay.
I'm with you,
Okay.
Pharm Doris.
All right. There are 5 regions, 5 entry points. Okay, so there are 5 entry points. You can mute your mic. You can mute your mic. You can mute your mic so that I continue. Okay. So when you're looking for jobs or when you're looking for opportunities in places like the US, go for remote clinical support. That area needs more remote clinical support. Okay. For the UK and the Europe, digital pharmacy sells well there. So if you offer digital pharmacy services, you will sell well in the UK and in Europe. Even medical writing works well in the Europe, okay? The Middle East does well with healthcare operations and consulting. Then when you come to Africa, Africa sells well when you want to sell telehealth and innovation. You will get better engagement if you decide to use their needs, the needs of these different regions. Okay? Okay, so you don't just carry telehealth and innovation and go to the likes of US. They really they already have these innovations there, so you might not really get engagement. Okay, so your time zone is not a limitation, okay, but it's actually a competitive advantage. Skill-based portfolio about it. A skill portfolio on, so for example, you put them in your portfolio, presentations you've created, you put them there, videos you've made, it's also going to go there, AI workflows you've automated, templates you have developed, you push them there. Okay, so if you're into designs, graphics design, you can put your designs up there as well. Case studies, create LinkedIn posts, okay, create courses, build websites, your website, and push all this there. Okay, so your portfolio would definitely, give you more advantage than your certificates. Okay, it's like an evidence. So your evidence beats the claims that you have. For opportunities effectively, don't just go and search for pharmacy job. Search rather for medical writer remote jobs. Search for patient educators. Use terminologies like that. Okay. So AI stack for digital pharmacists. There are 6 layers, 1 operator. Okay, so you pick 1 layer per time. Pick 1 layer per time. First of all, for tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, cloud, perplexity. This helps you for thinking, reason, drafts, research. So if you're into that, look towards using tools like this. For design, you go for the likes of Canva, Gamma, Napkin AI. So they help you design your slides, your posts, your visuals. For video, for your video editing, you use CapCut, HeyGen, Synthesia. So these ones help you to edit your videos, create avatars, and also scale. Okay, so for automation, we've learned how to use Zapier. Then there's Make AI, there's N8N. Okay, so these ones helps you to leverage the whole your activities so you don't continue doing some repeated tasks. Okay, then for scheduling, you use Calendly, the major one, Calendly, or the easy one to use is Calendly, or your normal regular Google Calendar. Then we have for your meetings, for meetings, you can use Fireflies to help you take notes. Fathom can also help you take notes, okay? Can help you create recaps of the meeting on and even action. Okay, for Zoom, Zoom already has its own AI support. Okay, so now the money pyramid, the multiple streams. Okay, not multiple jobs. Now we've learned that it's not multiple jobs, but multiple streams. Okay, so you see that a second job will add more hours, a second stream will add more leverage. Okay, so when you have gone through salary stage, it's expected that you should start working towards services. Then you create products that can sell even while you sleep, digital products. Build communities that keeps you, engaged and also consistently generate revenue. Then work towards automation, especially any task you have or any niche you have put yourself into, all your tasks has to find a way into being automated. I also call automation, I call it autopilot. Okay, so it's not everything that you just keep doing one after the other or repeating the same task. You can automate those tasks, then you build your business. Okay, so don't pursue 20 opportunities, just start with one, master it, then connect it with another. Okay, so let's say, for example, telepharmacy, you start with telepharmacy. Okay, then you now go to content creation. You now build your audience and create a community out of them. Okay, then you build a course or courses. Okay, so even with that, your community will engage in those courses because they trust you, they know you, and they trust you. Then you now automate those activities. Okay, and before you know it, your business is built. It's a gradual process, but it is doable. It's something you start immediately. You start immediately and you see it grow as long as you're consistent with it. Okay, for example, another one is medical writing. You can start with LinkedIn visibility, where you optimize your profile. Okay, you start creating content so that LinkedIn can help you become visible. Then global clients can see you. Okay, agencies can see you. Then you build courses because they have been seeing you, they now know you, they trust you, and they will engage in your courses. Okay, then you build a community out of it. Then you continue with consultation or consulting. You see how you can merge different streams into one business and automate them all. Okay, so now the goal is not to have them plenty as side hustles. The goal is to build them as an ecosystem. So this is where your knowledge becomes an asset, and your asset creates leverage, and leverage will definitely create the freedom you seek. So the community pharmacist, the telepharmacy consultants, I've also mentioned, you start where you are. You add a booking layer. This is where they meet with you calendly. Okay, they book. You use your e-commerce platform. They pay. Okay. Then you productize your packages. Okay, you can say 30 days medication review. All right. Then you expand to corporate clients. Okay, expand to corporate clients. So you can put any bill to it. You can put any fee to it, right? Because you're the one in charge. Okay, so you don't need a startup. You just need one patient. For this telepharmacy consultant, you just need one patient, one channel, and the discipline to charge them for it. A lot of us have been giving out our pharmaceutical knowledge for free. Someone will just call you from nowhere, Pharm, this one is happening to me. What drug should I take? Vam, you are finished. You just told them everything. In fact, you even send prescription over the phone, and they go elsewhere and give your money to somebody else. But by the time you structure your telepharmacy service, be disciplined enough to charge for it. We need to come out of that, free service. You cannot call a medical doctor over the phone and tell him anything, and he doesn't invite you to the clinic. Even when he invites you to the clinic, he will not stand at the door to welcome you. He will make sure that, in fact, even if he sees you, he will pretend that he didn't see you. So you will come, you will pay for folder. After paying for folder, you will see the nurses. They will now check all your vital signs and all those gbogbo share. When they finish doing that, if there's anything they want to even charge you for, they will charge it. They'll charge you for it before you go to see the doctor that you have even called over the phone. So pharmacists should gain the discipline to charge for their consultation service. Okay, so imagine two pharmacists, hospital pharmacists, that is a content creator. The pharmacist, creates educational video, builds authority, speaks with engagement. Okay, so the conferences you go to speak in, they pay you some honorarium. Okay, so you also monetize your audience. Another pharmacist who is a medical writer, okay, who learned the craft of writing, built a portfolio, and engages international clients. Okay, so one skill, one platform, which is your LinkedIn or any other platform, and you have a borderless career. So a pharmacist who is an AI consultant learned ChatGPT, automated his workflow, trains other pharmacists the way we are training you now. Okay, so you can use these tools for yourself and train others for it, and also get paid as an AI consultant. Okay, so people don't buy theory, people buy possibilities. People follow evidence, and that is true. Okay, so the most underused asset on your CV is not your degree. It is the honest record of what you have already figured out. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about my journey, because I know everybody, we are going to be wrapping up any moment. My journey here, who I was. Okay, I was a pharmacist navigating many jobs. Okay, I'm a mother of 3. I was juggling both community pharmacy, hospital pharmacy, motherhood, marriage, financial pressures, and life in general. like many of us are now. Okay, so I realized that time was my most precious resource. In fact, I discovered that technology doesn't replace life, it actually gives you more life. And that is how the Earlybird started. In fact, it didn't even start as Earlybird AlphaForge. It started as a digital academy where I was giving out online opportunities, money making opportunities. I was creating content for people, teaching all those little digital skills that helped me make money online. Okay, so most times people saw me pressing my phone. I'm going to the market, I'm pressing my phone. I went into a shopping mall, I'm pressing my phone. I was not watching social media. I was using the little skills I had to earn online. Why? Because I saw it as a leeway to escape being under pressure with looking for finance and meeting my family needs or my main important needs, things that were very much important to me. Okay, so yes, I've not gotten to where I want to be, but I know that I am not where I was before. I have a vision, and the vision is bringing pharmacists out of that pressure, out of that traditional cycle to the modern era or the modern way of earning as a pharmacist or as a professional. So even when I tried to balance family and all that, it wasn't working. I was doing several jobs. When I was in Lagos, I worked from 6 a.m. I'm out. In fact, I left the house 5 a.m. sometimes or 5:30 so that I beat the traffic. As soon as I'm done with the first job by 1 o'clock, I'm out again, moving to another, unit. From there, I go back to the third unit. I was doing that, and I barely had 4 hours. Self was even generous of sleep. So my family didn't see me. My kids didn't see me. Okay, my relationships failed. So I discovered that pharmacy was bigger than these walls that we have caged ourselves in. I knew that, or I discovered that knowledge, okay, can be multiplied. And technology is that tool that can help us multiply our knowledge. Right? So when pharmacists build systems, it gives them freedom. So I built systems, I built things that can help people to answer how. The question how do I do this? That is where I found my passion, to help people to know how to do things, how to achieve goals, how to automate their tasks, how to get out of some problems, especially when it comes to digital tools and skills. That is where I found my niche, helping people to solve the problem how. Okay, so you find your niche. Sometimes your niche discovery happens from your own story. You don't need to say, oh, because somebody else is making money with this niche, you now dive in. No, find your own passion, find your purpose, okay, and it takes you there. It takes you to where you're going. But the beautiful thing is always make sure that you involve technology, involve digital tools, AI tools, because that is the era we are in right now. Okay, so that's just a brief of my story. Okay, so this action plan for every one of us tonight is find your niche. What is your niche? Okay, then you're going to write out your first service. What service will you sell this week? This week we're entering. Next week, let me say, what service will you sell next week? Okay, then who are your target audience for that service? Then what will be your monetization model? All right. Okay. Then you now package your first offer. Okay. And tell yourself, this is what I am going to do first thing tomorrow. So clarity is not what you find, it is what you build by writing things down. You need to write this down so that you can be able to see clearly. Okay, so the future belongs to pharmacists who combine all four: knowledge, technology, visibility, and systems. Okay, so systems is the compounding, all right? The assets that helps you to earn while you sleep. Okay. Okay, so pharmacy is no longer confined into four walls. I've always been saying that. So your degree is not just a license to dispense medicine, it's a license to solve problems. So you should be asking, what value can I create and how many lives can I reach? Thank you very much for being with me for the past how many hours? Okay, and 2 hours. Thank you for this audience. Now I'm open to your questions, concerns. Okay, I'm open to your questions, concerns. Now we've learned a lot. I hope so. Let me hear from us. Let me hear from us, pharmacists and digital pharmacists, before I give an announcement. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your audience, everyone. I hope we learned a thing or two. What I want to also mention is that now this whole masterclass and the previous master classes, including the AI automation, have been packaged into one document that you also have. But let me hear your questions. I still have a lot of announcements to give before we wrap up for tonight. Okay, so let's go. I'll stop sharing my screen. Let me hear from you, pharmacists. How was the experience so far? You have any questions for me? You can unmute your mic and go ahead. Or if you feel you want to ask the question in the WhatsApp platform, then you can let me know so that I continue my announcement. Then you can ask me any question in the WhatsApp platform. I can respond there. No questions for me? I hope we're not sleeping. I hope
Hello,
we're not
Pharm
sleeping.
Doris. Hello, Pharm
Okay,
Doris.
yes, ma'am.
Mine is just to
Appreciate
appreciate the lecture of today. When I saw the topic, I was excited. I said I'm going to be part of this, and I've learned quite a lot. You have told us today that we have to start somewhere. Visibility first. Most times,
yes,
everybody wants to get to the top without climbing the ladder. So for me, I think I'll continue building my visibility, because I noticed that for some years I've been doing some public health education on Facebook and all that. I'll put up some topic and I will stop, But recently I said, okay, let me continue doing this. I even started a TikTok page where I talk about my passion, hepatitis, and all that. And I discovered that the last one I did 2 days ago, I got like 1.2K views. I was like, wow.
wow.
So people are actually there wanting to listen to the content, and a lot of misinformation going on. But as pharmacists, we are just enclosed in our world, and people who are not even qualified are the one dishing out information and misinforming people. So this digital pharmacies campaign is a very good one, and I know that I'm going to take it to another level. Most of the things that you're teaching us, implementing them. Like just right now, I just searched on LinkedIn on some of the things that you were talking about, jobs on LinkedIn, and I saw that actually there are jobs on LinkedIn in some of those spaces that we don't really know about. It's just the knowledge and the information. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pharm Obiageri. I'm grateful for this insight you've gained. And I believe that this is just a stepping stone for you. Okay? This is just a stepping stone for you. You are going to gain more. Since you already gained the basics, as you know, visibility is important and you already have that in place, you are going higher. All right. So any other questions for me?
Yeah. Doris, it's like they've taken light in your place. We can hardly see your face again.
Don't worry.
Anyway,
I'm prepared.
Okay. I'm pharmacist. I'm Ngozi Ebu, and I must say that your lectures have always been very impactful. Right from the time I started this course. I remember in October when we were the first digital pharmacists that came on this your course. At that time, I was so apprehensive. Is it something, will it be of help? Will it, I had so many questions, but I'm really glad that I was able to take that course. Yes, we always look at the money aspect. The money is very expensive and all that. But when I look at the value I have got with this training, I think I really appreciate what you are doing. You're solving a lot of problems, and I hope I will be able to solve more other problems too in the ecosystem and building of systems. You have taken us from one point to the other on how we can build systems. It's still not very clear, but with the assignment you have given, I just hope you just throw a little more light on this system, because as you said, everything stands on systems. When you are able to have a system that works, you just fly. But when you are having a challenge on setting up that system, no matter what you do, you still encounter challenges. I am glad you said something about visibility. I'm trying to be visible. What I want to also find out, is it possible for you to use, to have more, to be known in different niches? You are saying find your niche. Do you mean that you stick to that and become an expert? You don't divert into other areas? I just want a little clarity on that. But I say thank you very much for impactful lesson this evening. And I hope the new people I convinced to join, I really had a great time. Thank you. Good night.
Okay. All right. So concerning your question, thank you so much for the compliments so far. I'm glad that you've been gaining value. Okay. So, but the major question you asked was about niches, and a niche is just simply a specific problem you help to specific, you help a specific group of people to solve. Okay. So that niche, it is the best way to start. Your niche makes you memorable. Your niche makes your marketing easier. And your niche builds your authority. It doesn't mean that you will not extend to other areas, but if you start with a niche, people get to know you for one particular thing. Okay? So this niche creates opportunities for you. Okay? So you choose your niche based on your passion, your experience, your problems, and even the market demand. All right? So I think, I hope I was able to touch the question you asked. Okay? Then, Pharmacist Cheryl, you asked if it is safe to share private details and contacts on platforms like Upwork and Fiverr. Okay? It is not safe for you to give private information like your account details, your passwords. Okay? Most times on those platforms, the Upwork and Fiverr, they ask you for email, they ask you for websites. Okay? For private phone numbers, it's risky to put that unless maybe you have a specific phone number that you want to use online. Okay, so you know that whatever comes into that phone number is strictly for an online course, right? So you don't give private, delicate details to any online platform. Okay, I hope I was able to answer that. Then from Augustine, you asked for steps in telepharmacy. All right. We talked about telepharmacy even in the digital pharmacy certification training. We talked about telepharmacy in the digital pharmacy certification training. If you have gone through training, I think you should be able to get answers to this telepharmacy or telemedicine. Okay, so but briefly, the steps are choosing a niche. Okay, you define your service, then you package your service. All right, then set up your consultation platform. These platforms, it was also discussed as well, your Zoom, your Meet, your Doxy.me. Okay, you set up your scheduling platform, you set up your documentation, okay, your payment platform, and also automate all of them together so that they work seamlessly. Okay, then you now create your patient intake form. So if you have a patient and you don't document that you had a patient, then you miss out on. So it's very important. Okay, your patient intake form, your booking system, okay, and create educational materials as well. So those are the steps for telepharmacy. You can follow the training in the programs, the telepharmacy, the digital pharmacy certification programs, and you get the breakdown, the full details. Okay, so all the other questions will now go into WhatsApp. If you have any questions, you can ask me on WhatsApp there. I'm going to respond to all of them. So right now, I just want to give us a brief announcement for this. We have successfully, by God's grace, completed the June Masterclass. So the June Masterclass, I believe, is a success to the glory of God. Okay, so we have a full document containing everything that was discussed, breakdowns. You can take your time with also assignments that you can do on your own to implement what you've learned. Okay, so you can call it your toolkit, you can call it your workbook, you can call it, a masterpiece. So it contains both this month's masterclass and previous masterclasses. In fact, it contains not less than about 90 pages. 90 pages of information. So I would put the details of how you can get it in the WhatsApp form. Another thing is, I also encourage those that have not started taking their digital pharmacist training, okay? Please try to do so. You have within now and 6 weeks to take your course. If you take the course 15 minutes a day, I assure you within 4 weeks, you should be able to finish the programs, okay? So there's something that I have in store for all digital pharmacists, all certified digital pharmacists. So as long as you are able to complete the course and get your certificates and badge, okay, we are going to have a meet and greet in Abuja during the ACPN National Conference in Abuja, July 27th or so. So when we get to Abuja, by God's grace, I intend to be there. When we get to Abuja, all pharmacists who have completed their digital pharmacy certification training and have received their certificates, completed exam and received their certificates, we are going to have a meet and greet, and we are going to receive a special physical gift from me at the conference. So even if you cannot come for the conference, what we are going to do is we're going to delegate, people or team leads from different zones in Nigeria. Okay, so if you know a digital pharmacist that will be coming, or a pharmacist that will be coming over to Abuja, and you will not there, the person can also receive your physical token. So that's a gift for all certified digital pharmacists. So I'm encouraging those of us that have slept on our course, that have not finished it, try to finish it before, okay? So that when we come to Abuja, you can have this going back home with you. I don't want to show it to us now. It's going to be a surprise. Okay, so when we get to Abuja, we're going to see there's something for every certified digital pharmacist. Okay, so that's the second announcement. So please try to finish your course in due time. All right, so now we're moving to the WhatsApp platform. Any other questions you have for me, I would receive it there. And if you also have any concerns, please, I will also receive it there as well. Then other announcements I would also share with you. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Thank you for this exciting outing. It was excellent. All right, so a good night's sleep, and see you next month for the next masterclass. All right, so see you all. If you engage in only the masterclass, you've not engaged in the full digital pharmacy course, I'm encouraging you to actually do that. Okay, I think I would run a discount for those that paid for only the masterclass. If you decide that you want to take the full digital pharmacy certification course, I would run a discount on that. So instead of paying 10,000, you can just remove that 5,000 you paid and pay 25,000. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, and do have a good night's sleep.